ROOTERTAIL Talk, the podcast dedicated to everything about the sport that we all love, hydroplane racing. I am your host, David Newton, and it's time once again, so sit back, relax, and welcome to ROOTERTAIL Talk. Hello, race fans, and welcome back to another episode of ROOTERTAIL Talk. We're on episode 124, and this week we're talking with Ricky McQueen. Now, Ricky, he's a super fan of the sport. He has a burning passion for hydroplane racing, all sizes, and I just love talking to super fans of the sport like myself. And I've known Ricky for quite some time, and I've been wanting to get him on the show, but things just worked so we could talk right before the Columbia Cup. I don't need to say how much of a fan he is. You can hear it in his voice and how he talks about the sport. And fortunately, we were able to go down to the Hydroplane and Race Boat Museum down in Kent, Washington, and we sat in the library of the museum there, thanks to David Williams and other volunteers for letting us do that. So you might hear some wrenches in the background, but that makes some good background noises for this interview. And I have to say, if you haven't gone down to Kent, to the Hydroplane and Race Boat Museum, you need to do so because there's some great pieces and nostalgia, and they're keeping the history alive for this great sport of unlimited hydroplane racing. Now, when I talk with Ricky, he talks a lot about his passion for the sport, but he also talks about his influences to create one of the new video games for the sport, Hydro 2D, which is on the H1 Unlimited website. There's a link on there. You can play it on your PC. It's a simple game, and there's a lot of fun there because you can go through and choose different skins for your hydroplanes and pick your favorite ones to race against and race with. As we go through our talks through hydroplane racing, he'll make his picks for Tri-Cities and Seafair, so you can see if he was right on his picks for the Columbia Cup, which just concluded yesterday. I hope you had a great Columbia Cup. It was a lot of fun for me, and I'm so glad it was much cooler than previous years. It was a cool 90 degrees compared to previous years where it was triple digits almost every day. So let's get into it. Let's hear my interview with superfan Ricky McQueen. Well, I'm sitting here in the David Herensberger Library at the Hydroplane and Race Boat Museum down in Kent, Washington. And sitting across from me is Ricky McQueen. Ricky, how you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm glad we had a chance to meet outside of the race. we've known each other for a few years now and seen you at Seafair and talked about having you on here for a while, but I'm glad we finally made it happen.
Yeah, man, got a few gray hairs, since we talked about it first, but we're okay.
Yeah,
we're still here, and again, I'm proud of you, man, for everything that you're doing with this.
Yeah,
and thank you for having this space for the legends and everybody to come on here and share their stories and how we need to keep this thing going.
Oh, yeah. I'm having fun doing this, and there's so many great stories out there I want to preserve and get out to fans. And I'm glad to have you on here because you have such a passion for the sport. And I've talked to a lot of people just around different corners of the sport, from drivers, owners, crew members, event planners, sponsorships, but also fans, as I feel like everyone has their part in the sport. So I'm glad to talk with you today.
Man, this sport's been with me since I was 3. My first race was 3, and learning how to build cardboard hydroplanes through my uncle, and creating a cardboard mess all over the place.
Yeah.
Year round from my friends in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
To take it from there to where I am now, I don't know what anybody calls this, but I'm literally just carrying this passion that my parents have for this sport. They're not with us now, but I definitely feel like I'm just a vessel of their passion and love for this sport. My dad was a big Budweiser fan, and my mom was a big Chip Hanauer fan, and so there was a lot of feuding going on in my household. And I was never allowed to root for the Bud openly. But now that my mama is flying in the sky and I feel like I'm safe, Budweiser, go Budweiser. I love you, mama.
Yeah.
But man, it's always been in the core of my soul. Book reports. For some reason, they could be talking about mountains or whatever, and for some reason a hydroplane or a Blue Angel will show up in my story, and it's just with me all the time.
Yeah.
And so again, it's just with me.
Well, I think we share that. Both of my parents are gone as well. But my parents introduced me to the sport, and it sounds like they were longtime fans and introduced you to the sport just at a young age. Is that right?
Yeah. My family took over the south end, the south corner.
Okay.
That was my mom's favorite spot. She could see everything. She could see the bridge. She could see what is it, Mount Baker?
Yes. Yeah.
So
Mount
she
Baker.
could see all those, and the way the Blue Angels flew, that was just her spot. For many years, that was where the family, hung out, and we all met right there. It could be our cousins coming from everywhere. Everybody knew where to go, and that was our special spot. So every Seafair, I always take a walk, all the way down to that tree, and I just go and talk to my family, go talk to my mom, and then if I don't do that, then my Seafair is not good, and that's something that people don't know, but. Yeah, I definitely take that walk every morning, all 3 days if I have to, just to make sure that my family's in tune with me and there with me, because they're the reason why I'm even there and doing all this. So for sure.
Yeah, it's wild to think about. That's a great story that you shared there. But I feel a connection with hydroplanes in my family too, because my dad's been gone. Can't do the math right now, but about 14 years or so. But just being around hydroplanes, because that was his life. So I just always feel like he's with me there, right?
Yeah,
so it sounds like you have that same connection for you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. My dad would get so excited. When I started this whole video game venture, my dad thought that I was crazy. He really did. He thought that I was crazy, but I knew that if I stuck to it, then I was going to show him something that he'd never seen before from his son. And so I was gifted 12 all-access passes to Tri-Cities Columbia Cup. And I called my mom and dad and told them to come to Tri-Cities. Parking, everything was taken care of. And when they got there, they couldn't believe what had happened. I'm like, Dad, this is, the crazy thing that you told me that I was doing, and I was crazy and all that stuff. You're here now. They were able to walk across the little bridge, and boom, the boats are right there, right in their face, And my dad was just looking at me. He was like, son, you did this. Like, you really did this. You got 13 of your family members over here with you. All access, all free. Yeah. And I called you crazy. He said, well, keep being crazy. So here we are now. So, well, Pops, I hope you're happy.
Well, I know he's happy for you. You got some cool things going right now with the Hydro 2D.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So that's a long bridge to make that happen. Because I can't remember the year when I met you, but you were talking about that back then, about hydroplane video games, and I know we were talking to many people before that. Yeah. About it, but there's a couple games out now, right? There's Hydro Sim, there's Hydro 2D. Talk more about how did that Hydro 2D come about? First
of all, actually, I want to say, shout out to the Hydro Sim family over there. They're doing great things with the simulator. Like I tell everybody, we have two great platforms for the sport and to raise and sport and bring awareness to the sport. So shout out to them and all the work that they're doing over there. Definitely a part of that family and Hydro 2D came. They were able to put me right with the game. They wanted me to be. They saw my passion, my ideas, and they brought me in. It's just three of us. It's me, Bruce Carson, and Kevin Glenn, and we have formed a team, a love, and a trust for one another. And Bruce listens to me for input in the game, and it's just amazing that we've gone back and forth on things and built the game the way it is now. He started with only 10 versions, and now we're up to 42. Getting ready to have 43. So he realizes how crazy I am too. So and Kevin too. He irritated me. Rick, God dang, you keep going. And So that's what we want to do. We want to bring this opportunity for the kids to enjoy this, for everybody to enjoy this. I've heard stories of 7-year-old kids playing their 10-year-old sisters and boys and girls playing this game, grandparents and sons playing each other, and it's an awesome experience. Free H1 Unlimited website. You can go to the fan zone, scroll down. Both platforms are there. Go download them. You'll get help on both sides. Just a really cool experience with all the old school boats, nostalgia that's in it. Yeah, and I try and be creative with it. So. Yeah,
that's cool. Like there's tons of skins you can pick from there. Like you said, there's old boats, some old round noses, some 80s vibes going, current stuff, but also some like Seattle icons as well.
Absolutely.
So you got Kraken, Sonics,
Absolutely.
Myers.
Absolutely. We actually threw the Team Benavidez boats in there too. My boxing family.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get them involved in the sport. Shout out to my boxing team, my boxing family, Team Benavidez. They're a cool family, man, and a really good bunch of people. I want them to come into the sport. I have some things in the works that I want to try and do with them.
Yeah.
And people ask me, when I say that, they think that I'm crazy about the whole boxing thing. And like, boxing and hydroplanes go together. If you think about it, boxing, a fighter has to cut weight sometimes in some cases, and a driver for a hydroplane has to cut weight. A boxer trains for 12 rounds for 36 minutes, and a hydroplane driver trains for 12 rounds in 5 minutes. So I believe they go together. It's something that should happen, and I believe that they'll be really excited to be involved. And like I said, man, I got some things to tell you, but yeah, we're definitely gonna bring them in. I want to bring them in for sure, and I believe everybody will be excited. It'll benefit everybody.
Yeah.
And it's time to change the game. It's time to change the game and just open things up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that'd be great. Synergy, you see that around all different sports now. I think more synergy is needed in hydroplane racing. So I could see a lot of things going hand in hand with boxing and hydroplane racing. So I'd like to hear that.
Yeah. Nobody's heard it really broke down like that, but yeah, I really feel like, that's the way it is. They train for, 12 rounds for 36 minutes. A driver trains to go 12 rounds for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And they really do. I mean, if you listen to some of the old races, I listen to, they stick the mic right into the guy's face, in the 80s, and the guy, and I'm like, just give him a second, you guys, just give him a second. And he's like, I'm going to sit right in the cockpit with him. Here he goes. I'm like, my goodness, you guys, you just drove 300 miles an hour. Yeah. But, it's yeah.
Yeah, they take a beating in the cockpits.
They do, definitely. It's a fight. It's a fight.
Yeah. Well, getting back to the game though, is there a can you play on your phone? Is there a way to download it on your phone?
I know that's something that we wanted to do.
Yeah.
Is get to that point, but right now it's just PC.
Yeah.
Right there off the platform.
Okay.
You can also use your game console controllers, right? They should read and be able to control it right there.
Okay.
It's real easy. Everything's just real easy and not difficult.
Yeah.
You go right on in there and play.
All right. Well, fun. Yeah, I played a little bit last night, getting into it a little bit. So that's fun.
I wanted to bring a setup, man, but I just I don't want to get beat yet. I don't want to get beat in this game that I'm supposed to be representing. I don't want to get beat yet. So,
well, we'll have to have a challenge one day.
I'm planning on taking a setup to Tri-Cities with me this year.
Oh, cool.
I don't know where we're gonna set it up at, but I know wherever we do, we're gonna create a ruckus. And that's my plan. Is I want to create trouble with this thing. I want people to actually leave work and say, "Oh my God, he's playing." Yeah, I'm playing. So that's that. I want to cause some trouble with Hydro 2D and Bruce Carson's going to be with me. And
cool.
Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah, she's gonna go for her first time. My wife.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be cool.
Nice. Well, I'll look for you over there. I'll look for the big crowd around a laptop or a screen or something over there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Just find some shade.
Yes, sir. I want to challenge Corey Peabody. I want to challenge everybody. So if you're listening, that's what I want to do.
Nice. Well, make sure you film some of that.
Oh yeah,
it'll be fun to watch.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Nice. Well, do you have the current skins for for this year's boats on there yet?
We just released them.
Yeah,
just released them. And shout out to Kevin Glenn. He's been going through some little health issues, but he's been doing a lot of great work on those boats, and he's drawing them all on computer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I actually seen these things a few years ago. We met at Starbucks, and he started showing me all these boats, and I'm like, he's like, yeah, man, this is my little do-it-yourself boats, like the pull on the string and stuff like that. People can make the models, and that's literally what this game is. Okay. He's taking those and put them in a software to where we can race them, and it's it's awesome, man. it's awesome. I share a Discord server with Bruce, and whenever his profile goes active and starts bubbling, I'm like, uh-oh, what is this? And he usually says 5-minute gun for the next version of the game to come out, and so so he always puts me on pins and needles. He knows that He always messes with me.
Yeah.
He knows I'm waiting for the next version.
Well, like when you were talking about that though, like when he's building the skins,
Yeah.
like the old school cutout versions. This reminds me of when my father was a kid, and their version was towing the boats behind the bikes. So this is this is the updated video game version.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't understand it. You know, I was like, is he drawing these things? Okay. And then I seen his program, and when he showed me like the DIY, do it yourself, and I'm like, okay, that's what he did. He just took his models from that and implemented them into the software, and here we have Hydro 2D. Man, yeah. So, yeah, he's amazing. He's amazing with what he's done, and shout out to Kevin Glenn. Love you, brother. Love you.
Well, it's a fun game. Glad to see it out there. Another option for a hydroplane game, and like you said, it's easy to download. Just go to h1unlimited.com.
Yes, sir.
And you find on the fans page or the fans tab, and it's on there. But you also you stream some of your games, right?
Yes, sir.
So you do that. Do you do that on Facebook? Do you do it on any other platforms or just Facebook?
I want to just stick with Facebook. It's growing over there.
Yeah.
I mean, we've gone from 10 plays to 200, 300 per video now, and it's just being creative with a little 2D game. That's all it is. And I believe that when people see my streams, it throws them back to that time. And they're thinking about that time, not necessarily looking at the game. The game is cool, but they're actually back at that time. And so I hope that I'm providing entertainment and just nostalgia and memories for these people when I'm playing this game. And that's what I want, just everybody to come together. And I see so many people coming in the chat. Steve Reynolds comes in there. Kit Brown comes in there. It's amazing seeing these guys come in and watch the game.
Yeah.
And to have them, tell me, thank you for what you do and stuff like that. I'm looking up to you guys. This is just a 2D game and a kid with passion.
Yeah.
That's all I am. And if I can show it through this game, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Exactly.
And I'm gonna keep going. We're just gonna keep growing it.
Love to hear that. Well, we'll have to put a link in on the bio for this episode, so for viewers that want to watch your stream services,
absolutely, for sure,
we can get you on there.
For sure.
Awesome. Well, I always like to ask this question. I was curious what your favorite boat and driver is. I think you kind of teased it earlier.
Yeah, a little bit.
What's your favorite?
The Bud Griffin. Again, sorry, Mom. But the Bud Griffin. And favorite driver is Steve Reynolds. Two separate stories real quick. When I started this whole video game thing, I had a chance to meet Bernie Little at the shop, at the Budweiser shop. He was at the, I want to say he was at the beginning stages of his Parkinson's, and he looked at me and I told him everything that I was trying to do, and he told me, he said, "Kid, keep going." He said, "Keep going, don't stop, don't let nobody stop you." And I promise you, I've taken those words and I've carried those words everywhere. I've moved to Vegas talking about hydroplanes. I've moved to Wichita, Kansas, Oklahoma talking about hydroplanes, and these, I'm everywhere talking about hydroplanes.
Yeah.
I accidentally stumbled upon San Diego, going to SeaWorld. Didn't even know nothing about that place, and all this from him telling me to keep going. And then when I used to build the boats for my friends in the neighborhood, my neighbors saw it. And I had to have been about 8, 9 years old, 10 years old. And I didn't realize that he worked with Steve Reynolds. Steve Reynolds comes to my neighborhood in West Seattle at my grandma's house, knocks on the door, introduces himself. And from that point on, he was my favorite driver. And it was Miss 7-Eleven, Tossiasi. It was Steve Reynolds, because he came to my neighborhood, took the time to be with my friends, and saw us watched us, run our cardboard hydros on our bikes up and down the street for a while. Cool. So I have been inspired by that man my whole life. I want him to know that, Steve, you have inspired me to do everything that you guys see me do is because Steve. And then Bernie Little telling me to, keep going when I got older. So those two men, I all this, and plus my parents is for them, for sure. They have driven me to do what I do and what you guys see. Seattle Rick, they have that's what it is. It's Bernie Little and Steve Reynolds.
Wow. Well, great connections there, and great inspiration for you.
Yeah.
For the sport. Love to hear that side of the sport. And so that's the thing we don't always hear about, right? It's how drivers and people in the sport can touch the fans and other people in the sport. So
right. I mean, then later on in life, I've had the opportunity to meet Harold Mills, and Harold loves what I'm doing and everything, and I appreciate that man also.
Yeah.
But it was just like it was Steve Reynolds, Bernie Little, and then Harold Mills came down the line, and I just hope that I'm representing those gentlemen well, and respecting their what they've done with this sport, and I hope I'm carrying it.
Yeah.
The way they would like to see us young men carrying it for them.
Oh yeah. I think you are, and we do what we can, right?
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. So you've gotten closer and closer in the sport. Definitely more recent years with the game and talking with those legends in the sports. But there's been some changes that they've done recently. What are your reactions to what they've changed so far? So they've changed some things around the starting procedure, and there's a new regime in there trying to push us forward. So what do you see?
The starting procedure, I like it. They can do their park and start now, all that stuff. I've always liked that park and start.
Yeah,
I've always liked that. Just even for photo purposes. I've always been one to try and get photos of the boats, and I never was able to. So thank you for the park and start, so I can zoom in my little camera. For my own little selfish reasons. Thank you for the park and start. Apollo and all the stuff that I've been hearing about coming in. Any way that we can grow the sport is fine with me. I want people to understand and know that we need to make sure that we keep the unlimiteds going for these kids underneath everybody else. We need to make sure that we make prominent the J Stock series. We need to make sure that these kids are getting the attention that they're supposed to be getting. They have all these influences that they're looking up to, but are they going to have those boats to drive when they get older? Are we going to keep this sport going for them? That's what I'm talking about, sponsorship wise, and doing all these different things for the sport is just for them, because they are fighting and going through all these tournaments and traveling all these places. But for what? If we don't keep the unlimiteds going and keep their dreams and aspirations going, then what are we doing?
Right.
It's on us, the older people, to keep this going for them.
Yeah.
Just
don't call me older people.
Well, I'm right there with you, brother. I just turned 46, so I'm right there with you. It's okay. My back is hurting right now, but it's important that we do that. I formed relationships with some of these kids and their families, and it's important for me as a big kid to push for them. I don't hear enough voices pushing for them. And that's not me trying to be mean or anything like that, but I want to push for the J Stocks. Hashtag J Stocks rock. I want to start that hashtag. They mean so much to our sport, and for us to not do what we need to do, accepting every effort, looking at every effort, putting all things out on the table for us to be able to save the unlimiteds for them. And all the other bigger class boats, we're failing them. We have to keep this going for them. We have to keep their goals and aspirations up front. So shout out to the J Stock kids.
Yeah, I can't remember how many years now. It hasn't been too many, but recently at Seafair, I think pretty much every day they have little J Stock course out there on the south side of the pits. And that's been fun to watch them out there, even though they're going through rollers and they're not hitting the speeds that they would normally hit. But it's fun to watch the kids out there and just sitting with the fans on the shoreline. It's been fun to hear some of the kids' reactions. Like they don't believe, like, hey, that's a 10-year-old out there racing, right? Yeah, so it's cool to see that they have that for those kids, and it'd be fun to see more of that synergy. With the sport.
Yes, that needs to happen. It needs to happen. Yeah. We need to, again, create these opportunities where we can have more venues for these kids. Yeah. I want to have more venues than the Unlimiteds for the kids. I want them to be out front. Yeah. The Unlimiteds have been out front for a very long time. It is time for the kids to get this attention that they need. They're going through a lot, going through school, having to keep their grades up and all this stuff to be able to race. And again, traveling here, traveling there, driving here, driving there. Who knows what they're going through on the road to get to these places that they got to go race. Yeah. And then something to break down on them, and when they get there and then they can't race, So we have to make sure that we're doing anything and everything possible for these kids to have the unlimiteds and all these bigger class boats when they get older and ready to go.
Yeah.
Because they're coming and they're growing. They're not slowing down in their growth. I promise you that. So we have to make sure that we are on our toes doing this for them.
Yeah. And there's some great drivers coming up through that program. But it makes me think of, because I'm a teacher in the classroom and I teach middle school.
That's cool.
And they're 11 to 13 years old, so it's right in that range. But there's a lot of times kids will be gone from school because they're missing it for tournaments for basketball or tournaments for baseball or whatever. So it's fun to see that there's an option for boat racing for kids, and to see more people that can take advantage of that. And the museum here, because we're at the Hydroplane Race Boat Museum here in Kent, Washington, they have a program every winter.
Yes, where
their families can come together and build a J-Stock hydro for their kid. Some experienced drivers or people who build the boats to stand over your shoulder and help you, guide you along the way.
I believe that's a great program. I'm actually waiting. I messaged Carson Kelly and I asked him if they could build me a midget seat on the side of one of their J-Stocks. So I'm tired of them leaving me on the shore. So I'm waiting for them to, since they're down here building boats at the Kent Museum, you guys thinking about me, I need to go for a ride too. So, but no, it's a great program. It's a good program. And I have to get down here a little bit more. I've been, I've worked now and everything. Yeah. So been doing that, but proud of the kids. I'm proud of the kids, and that's why I always push for them. And I thank the museum for having this program for them down here and for all the families to get together. I've actually met a guy, and he's actually knee deep into this stuff now. And he looks at me and he goes, "Rick, man, I would have never drove this boat or anything if it wasn't for you. Like, you really did this for me." And I was like, "Man, thank you." That's awesome. He goes, "No, I'm dead serious, Rick." He said, my wife hates you because so shout out to him. I'm not going to put his name out there, but you know who you are, man. And I'm glad that you're having fun. He's been coming down here to the museum and volunteering. And yeah, so those types of things, yeah. Even just with the J-Stocks, that's really cool, man. Yeah. It's really cool.
Well, that's fun. That's fun. My dad would always tell me people he got into the sport, they would either thank him or blame him. So
there you go.
Sounds like you got the same going on.
Yeah, I sure do. But it's all love in the end.
The J-Stocks are fun. Hopefully, it'd be great, more synergy with the sport. But check it out there at Seafair. They're gonna have them back again this year, which is great to see.
That's good.
And I always like to see it when they put the wraps on it, so it looks like the Unlimiteds with it too. Right?
Yeah, they're the stars. They're the stars. I just want to let everybody know. J. Mike, Corey Peabody, you guys are going to take a seat. Take a seat now. It's the J-Stocks time, and that's it. We need to just make sure that we're talking about these kids because they're putting in work and representing the sport in a good way. I see them, and I'm proud of them. The way they conduct themselves and people talking to them and fans talking to them and stuff like that. And I'm like, man, look at that. That's cool.
Yeah.
So, with my voice, I'm saying, shout out to the J-Stock kids, hashtag J-Stocks rock.
Well, Carson Kelly, he's definitely one of the big stars in J-Stock right now.
Yes.
Do you know how old he is?
No, I think Carson's 14, 15.
He's
I don't know, going on 35, and he's an awesome kid.
Yeah.
He's an awesome kid.
It'll be fun to see. Who knows what happened in the future, but it'd be awesome to see him in a seat of an Unlimited and his dad in a seat in Unlimited. See them both.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Bronny and LeBron James type deal. Yeah. Well, I believe he's going to be a lot better than his father. I told you I was going to start some mess today. I believe he's way better than his father. Shout out to J. Mike. I love you, brother. I can't wait to give you a big hug when I see you. But no, I've become close with that family. Shout out to the Kelly family. Me and Mike ended up in a Detroit Unlimited article in the third page of the magazine, and we're forever connected, brother. So. But Carson's still going to be better than you. And so is Asher. So that's just it. Love you guys.
Well, some good trash talk there, but time will tell. We'll see.
Yeah. God, I'm going to eat this one. God.
Well, some other drivers throw names out there. Brent Hall, he's made a splash in the sport.
Yes,
I've known Brent for a few years, and actually he was on a recent episode. But it's great to see his enthusiasm in the sport.
Absolutely.
And I'm hoping he can get a ride next year or later this year. But I thought we were going to see history made last year. I don't know if you remember that moment.
Yeah.
I was on a finger pier and you were a couple down, and
we
thought he had one lap left to go, but
you're right there.
Just didn't happen. it'd be great to see him be qualified to be the first black driver in the H1 Unlimited.
Absolutely.
You've gotten to know him a little bit, I think.
Yeah, I have.
Over the years.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
What does this mean to you? How impactful is this to have Brent be involved with the sport?
Very, very impactful. I mean, again, you go with the line of people that I've been influenced by, and now you put him right behind Harold Mills. He's right there. I've been on this journey with him. You know, I'm not in a seat, but I'm screaming and giving my voice, supporting every step of the way. It's very, very impactful to what I do. It's very influential for the sport as a whole. I believe Brent even would tell you himself, he just wants to be he just wants to be a driver.
Yeah.
You know, we all understand the history on what it means. And I believe that he's at a point now, I don't want to speak for him, but I believe that he just wants to be a driver, just be a person in the seat, getting this opportunity to live his dream just like everybody else.
Yeah.
And he's going to get it done. # 1 lap to go.
Mm-hmm.
We got a lot of hashtags today. But shout out to Brent and his journey. I appreciate him for allowing me to be close to it. We're not done yet. We still have it to go. We're going to get you in there. We're going to get it done because overall it's good for the sport. It's good for the sport. It's good for it is good for the African American community to see that. When everybody that I share him with, they get so excited and they can be from Alabama, they could be from California, whatever. But when I tell them, hey, I consider this person my brother and he's doing this, they're like, wow, and they look at his story. And then I have people come back and tell me, man, I actually been looking at stuff like that's crazy. Yeah. So we like he would say, we still have work to do. And we're gonna push forward. We're gonna get it done. We're gonna get him qualified. We're going to get him in there. He's going to live his dream. And then, he's going to be able to share that huge smile that he has right along the log boom with everybody over there because, it's just that big. His smile is just,
a big smile.
That big. I mean, he just can't stop smiling. So, he's going to be able to share that one day during a race at Seafair. And I full-fledged trust in that he will do that and he'll get it done. And we're all pulling for you, Brent, because it's important for it to happen for the sport.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, unfortunately, it didn't happen last year. Really hope it would happen this year, but he's on a journey. He's going to make it happen.
Yeah, we're all there with him.
Yeah,
for sure. We're screaming. We're still screaming. We still have a voice, so we're still screaming from the finger pier. Yeah. We're out there at Tri-City, still going to be out there sweating, brother. But we're going to get it done. We're going to get it done, and the journey continues.
Well, and I think about. I mean, he's a great person, a great just speaker and spokesman for the sport.
Absolutely.
But again, I bring a lot of things back to the classroom and analogies there. And when I talk about hydroplanes or anything in the classroom, and if kids can't really see themselves and that connection there, they don't really have an interest, right? So,
right.
And just having him be the first black driver, I think, just knowing that someone like you can do this as well. I could see this opening up much more for more other demographics, and be such a positive thing for the sport.
Well, and that's why I speak of again the boxing team Benavida. It's a whole different culture come in. They see Brent do this, and well, hey, we can be involved too. Let's get behind them. Right. Let's do this. So, it's a good thing for the sport. Like I said, all the way around, it's a good thing for the sport, and he's doing great things, and he's got a great story. But I believe ultimately he just wants to be considered one of the qualified drivers, and one of the few that are in the seat. That's it. Yeah. We all understand the history and what it is, and I believe he just wants to be at a comfort level to where it's just about him getting into this seat and getting this done.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, # 1 more lap.
# 1 more lap. There you go. For sure. 1 lap to go. For sure. We're going to get it done.
Yeah. All right. Well, I know you've been a long-time fan of the sport, and I always like to talk to other fans, what other places they've gone to see hydroplane races. You talked about going to Tri-Cities. Have you been to any other sites on the circuit?
No, mistakenly, San Diego. But I didn't really get the experience of it. Mm-hmm. I don't really remember it. I would love to get to Madison, or Guntersville, but I think Madison would be the one that I want to see. I want to see the Milton Madison Bridge, and I want to see Jeff Ayler full-fledged into his race calls and everything, and I might be standing right behind him doing it with him because I get so excited when I listen to Jeff Ayler and, I crank him up and all that stuff. I want to experience Madison.
Yeah.
I want to experience Madison for sure. Sure.
Yeah, I haven't been there either, but seeing all the videos, it's pretty wild. They go under the bridge. Like, it'd be fun to be up there and see them go underneath you, but they come pretty close to the shoreline too, to be on the docks when they're running. Yeah. That'd be pretty wild.
Yeah, this is the one time where I will actually have to sneak my way into Madison. I'm gonna probably just ride in Corey Peabody's in the boat on the side of the highway the whole time, and wave at people, promote the boat. J. Mike, somebody's boat, Carson Kelly, some riding somebody's boat. Because I got to get to Madison. Mm-hmm. I got to get to Madison one of these years, and we got to go to Madison, sweetheart. We got to go to Madison and go experience that. But for sure, Madison.
Yeah. I was hoping they would have Detroit on the schedule this year. It didn't happen. I've never been there, but that's, I think, a historical place to go.
Yes,
I'd love to see
that. Yes.
The ROOTERTAIL turn, and
that's I didn't say that because I figured it was. I didn't want to be wrong in saying that, but I would love to see Detroit. Yeah. Absolutely, I would.
And this year, I think it's the 60th anniversary of San Diego. Yeah, the Gold Cup down there. You can try and make it down there this year for that, or
no?
Not on the docket.
No, not on the docket. Was it next year that Jimmy Johnson is supposed to be doing that?
I think they're pushing hard for next year.
For next year, I would definitely try to get down there for next year.
That'd be great.
I want to see that happen because again, it's one of those stories. He's a kid sitting on a boat.
Mm-hmm.
Here he is getting a chance to drive. You know, so I want to go for that. That type of story, that type of fanfare. I want to see the NASCAR fans come over. Yeah. To our sport and experience that. And then we start taking all their fans.
His story is crazy. Young kid, meeting the Muncie family, sitting on the Atlas, and hopefully he'll get a chance to drive it next year.
Yeah.
A few laps around Mission Bay.
That's awesome.
When's the last time you've been to Tri-Cities?
Last year.
Oh, you went last year?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I have friends and family over there.
Okay.
So we're trying to make it a thing every year now. Mm-hmm. You gotta have to go over there. You gotta bring the sunscreen and all the umbrellas that you can to cover up. It's hot, but it's I become a member this year. I don't know if that will allow me to go down on the dock or close to it, but that has always been a bucket list of mine to be able to walk the blue gates down to the dock at Tri-Cities.
Yeah,
and I believe that might happen this year. And Tri-Cities is my all-time favorite place. I wish that the Blue Angels could come to Tri-Cities, but then there won't be Seattle. So.
Right.
Sorry Seattle, but Hydrotown, USA, let's go.
Yeah. Well, I think this episode's going to air the weekend between the Columbia Cup and Seafair. So, we'll see if your predictions are right. What predictions you have for Tri-Cities? And then let's make some predictions for Seafair.
That's a good question, man. That's a good question. You're going to get me in a lot of trouble with this one, man. A lot of trouble.
I think you're already in trouble with this.
I've been looking for a place to probably sit for some cool air, and this is not going to happen now. Shout out to Mercury's Coffee. Let's go. Mercury's Coffee, Tri-Cities.
Ooh.
Jamie Nielsen.
All right.
Jamie Nielsen's gonna have a jolt of Mercury's Coffee, and the 11 team is gonna have the celebration of a lifetime in Tri-Cities this year.
All right, they're gonna be caffeinated. They're gonna get their first win.
Me too. Hopped up. I may be operating the camera to the crane, man. You never know. You hopped up on that Mercury McQueen walking. Yeah. Mercury McQueen that weekend.
Well, that'd be fun to see. That. I mean, that's a team that's always been just a tick behind. They got a big sponsor this year.
The boat looks awesome.
Yeah, they got second place in Gunnersville. Yeah, the boat has a great look.
Yeah.
Great vibe, and they're getting faster. So
I've always loved Scott and and the Queen. I've always appreciated them so much. They show me so much love. They call me, family. Scott called me family, and I didn't even know who Scott was. I didn't know who he was. He just appreciated who I was. Walking through Tri-Cities and through the pits, and he, we talked for a second, and then he's like, "Hey, that's my boat, man. You go up on my boat, man. Get a picture." I appreciate you, Scott. Thank you. Yeah, Team 11, let's go. Team 11, let's go. I love all the teams. But I got to keep the love. But go 11, let's go.
All right. Well, how about in Seafair? Who do you got in Seafair winning? Totally different race course in Seafair. Got a little bit shorter, rougher water.
Here again, I'm going to get in trouble. Andrew Tate.
All right. He's going to redeem himself from last year.
Is going to come in second place to J. Michael Kelly. J. Michael Kelly's going to take it again. And me and J. Mike are going to take another picture at the end of the race this year. Again, Seafair.
So repeat of last year then.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to shake you guys up like that. That's a Barry Sanders move right there.
I like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Sorry, Andrew, too, man. Sorry. I know you probably got happy right then. And see, it just was not going to be right, man. I was cool with everybody last year. It's just not turning out good.
All right. So you got Tate getting second place. J. Michael Kelly's going to win Seafair.
Yes.
Jimmy Nielsen will get his first win in Tri-Cities.
Yes.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, one thing at Seafair, I always try to find the best spot and talk to fans about where they like to watch the races from. Mm-hmm. And you've gotten some spots there. What's your favorite spot to watch down at Seafair?
I really like the north turn, but the south turn.
Yeah, that's a hike to get up to the north turn.
I like being able to see them come down at you and then make that turn.
Yeah,
it's such an important turn right there. It's almost like, the equivalent of Madison. Who's going to get out of that turn safely? And the first turn in Tri-Cities, full bore. Who's going to get out of it safely? And it's just something seeing them come at you and then hit that power going into that turn, and then you get to actually see them go up the log boom. Mm-hmm. And you can see, it's just. I used to drive hydro sim like that a lot. Mm-hmm. Like I used to go back to the older versions of the game and actually find those camera views and just relive those moments. Yeah, because that's the south turn. The south turn, definitely.
Okay. Yeah, that's fun to go down to and see him come down for the start and then get on it into that first turn. And it's always packed down there in the south turn, so it's a lot of energy down there.
And not only that, the monster tent is down there with the energy drinks.
Oh, okay. You're going to be caffeinated from Ricker's.
They have become. Yeah. I don't want to do too much, but they've become my friends down there. A couple people remember who I was last year. That was really cool.
Yeah.
And so they're like, hey, the Sonics. Yeah, I was like, yeah. What's up? They're like, you need a drink? Yeah, cool, man. You just come on down all weekend. We're here. I was like, yeah, I know. So yeah, South Turn, it's a party.
Nice. Yeah. It's always fun to jot down there and watch the heats from there. And a lot of people down there. It's
not only that, my mom is over there. So I don't want to keep saying that, but it's the South Turn for sure.
Yeah. That's special. That's special. All right. Well, you said Sonics.
Yeah.
You went a long time without saying Sonics.
Yeah, I sure have.
Yeah. So before you go, I got to ask you about that. When I'm going to say when, not if, but when are we getting the Sonics back? It's been a minute since they left town. It has,
and there's a lot going on in the league.
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell the fans now. We're at a point now. They're talking about the media deal being done, and all this stuff. There's a lot of things that can happen in the league. There's some teams that can move around. I've been telling people that all of a sudden there's going to be a third city talked about, and all of a sudden here comes Mexico, and but I don't know anything. And I fight with a lot of the fans, and with some of the stuff that I say, I fight with a lot of the fans for some of the stuff that I say, but they don't realize what I've heard and what's been told to me even during COVID.
Yeah.
I was told about Alex Rodriguez having ties with the Timberwolves during COVID. And here we are talking about Alex Rodriguez getting the Timberwolves, So I believe that there's a lot going on there. And just overall, we as basketball fans and as NBA fans, we love a money-hungry league. So it doesn't matter what and how you want this situation to work out for the Sonics. We have no control over this. All we can do is sit back and be fans because we're going to cheer anyway when the team comes back. Mm-hmm. So we can't be hypocrites in this situation. You got to allow things to work out. And whatever it is, we have to roll with it because we've been without it for 16 years.
Yeah.
So you're going to, we get a team that's moved from somewhere and you feel like we're still in the team. But ultimately you're going to cheer for the team, right? Because they have the jersey on. So why argue it? We have no control over the situation. We love a money-hungry league. And it's going to play out how it plays out. And we just got to sit back and be fans and just be ready to go and cheer for whoever comes and plays. Yeah. But I can tell you this, all of our local players are really wanting to come and play for the town. And I believe that we do this right. I believe that we have a chance of getting Kevin Durant to come back and retire as a Sonic. I really do. I really do. I don't want to put everything out there like that, but I really feel that he would come and just do that for the city. And we just gotta sit back and be fans because we have no control over this. Yeah. Money talks however it goes and wherever direction it's coming from. So the Sonics are gonna come back how they come back, and we just gotta cheer the team when they do. And it's soon. It's very soon. It's soon. Within the next year or two, they'll be playing. But again,
that'd be awesome.
Yeah, but again, there's so many situations that are happening. You can't rule out Chris Hansen in the Soto project down in Soto. You can't rule out the fact that now we have the light rail going from north to south. Yeah. And the Sonics have played in the Tacoma Dome, so, when team relocates here, they can go play in the Tacoma Dome, and it's been renovated too. So there's a lot of things on the table for the Sonics, and people just have to keep an open mind about this and realize that you have no say in it. We are fans. Yeah. That's it. And we can't fight each other because ultimately you're gonna sit there and see me and say, "Oh, that's the dude I was arguing with." Are you gonna not talk to me now because we're both cheering for the team because they're playing? We just gotta be fans and just cheer for the team. Yeah. We have no control over this.
Well, it seems like every year there's a rumor coming. Oh, it's coming back. Rumors. It's always fun. I'm just tired of all my kids wearing Lakers jerseys in my class. I want to see some Sonics come back.
Oh, man, why'd you say that? She's a Lakers. Oh, God, man. Oh, man. That is not the way to end this interview, man. That is not the way. Please, you guys, follow me on social media. Make sure that I'm alive. Just check in with me because she's a diehard Laker fan, my lady is. And what he just said, he gets to go home safely, you guys. ROOTERTAIL Talk gets to live. Rick has to ride home with the Laker fan. But no, no. Shout out to the Lakers. Bring the Sonics back. I love the Lakers. I like Magic Johnson and all of them. It's a great team. I don't like LeBron on the team. I don't like Bronny on the team. Bring the Sonics back for sure. Yeah, however we come back, bring them back. Then so we can get Dave's kids out of the Lakers jerseys.
Yes, that's right.
That's it. I'm going to take that one for the team. If I don't stream for a week, you guys know why. She took my computer from me.
My fault.
Yeah. Sorry, babe. I love you. But bring the Sonics back at all costs.
Well, Ricky, I love your passion. Keep your passion. Don't lose your passion. I'm excited to see you over in Tri-Cities and Seafair.
Yes, sir.
We'll talk more about there.
I'm honored for this opportunity, man. Like I said, I have been watching your show and running your boat on HydroSim and stuff like that. And I support you, brother. And like I said, the way we met, just watching, just being spectators. Yeah. You sharing your ideas on having the radio show and me having my ideas with the video game, and here we are full circle sitting inside the Hydroplane Museum, Kent, Washington. Yeah. You have your radio show and my name's on a video game. It's an honor to be doing this with you. Appreciate you.
Oh yeah, appreciate you, man.
Well, that concludes my interview with superfan Ricky McQueen. I want to thank Ricky for his time. It was great talking with him. Really enjoyed just hearing that passion come out again. And once again, I want to thank David Williams for letting me go down there with Ricky and utilize their library and the Hydroplane and Raceboat Museum. So many fabulous pieces of memorabilia, nostalgia, and just love the history that they keep alive down there. And again, if you haven't gone down and checked out the Hydroplane and Raceboat Museum, please do so and contribute because they do their part to preserve the history of the sport. Now, Ricky shared his insights and predictions for the Columbia Cup and Seafair. I thought for a second there he was going to be right in the Columbia Cup because Jamie Nielsen and Mercury Coffee, they were caffeinated in lane one. I thought they had something special going there, but unfortunately it didn't happen for them. I will say I did pick Corey Peabody, the 9, Beacon Plumbing, for my deck-to-deck fantasy pick. So once again, he triumphed in Tri-Cities. And just something about him. He knows that course. He knows the river. He just had a great day and really bested. He was the underdog, but he bested the best that was there. So congratulations, Corey Peabody. Congratulations, Strong Racing. And congratulations, Bill Cahill and Beacon Plumbing for their great victory in the Columbia Cup. Well, we're on to Seafair this week. Ricky said J. Michael Kelly, he's going to be the winner. I don't know. They got a busy week ahead of them. They're going to be thrashing on that boat, getting everything put back together from their flip and barrel roll on Saturday of the Columbia Cup. So I'm hoping that they can be on the water as we need the boat count. We need the boats on the water. And I want to see the response to the duel last year because J. Michael Kelly, he bested Andrew Tate and Goodman Real Estate at the Gold Cup in Seattle. And it was a classic last year. And I think we're going to have another classic this year. So a lot of exciting things this week. Seafair is upon us. I hope I'll see you down there in the pits. Please say hi. Always love chatting about hydros. You know me. So Ricky and I will be down there showing our love for the sport, and I hope to see you do the same. So until then, I hope to see you at the races.